Hello YouTube, how's it going? It's the Professional here, and today we are doing a video on what is the best helicopter in GTA Online. I have been asked this question multiple times on my live streams, and I thought I would make a video on this. And in this video, we are only going to be focusing on weaponized helicopters, not civilian helicopters. So we're going to be focusing on the Savage, the Akula, the Hunter, and the Buzzard. Which of these four is the best one? And I'm going to tell you guys from the start right here, so if anybody doesn't have time to watch the whole video, in my personal opinion, I don't think that there is a best helicopter. After using so many of these helicopters for so many different jobs, I think that each helicopter has something that it's good at. Each helicopter has advantages and disadvantages, some that others have, some that others don't, and I'm going to be explaining that in this video. So here we are. Let's start off this video with a speed test. Let's see, the four helicopters, out of these four, which one is the fastest one? So let's see. Let's test this right now. And here we go, getting a star with the Akula, but the Hunter is already in the lead. So I'm in second place in the Akula, Buzzard is in third place, Savage is in fourth place. And the Hunter wins. Let's do one more test just to be positive that the Hunter is the fastest one. Okay, so here we have test number 2, which is the fastest helicopter. Let's see if the Hunter wins first place again, and let's see if all the helicopters are in the same order they had last time. I'm going to start up an impromptu race here, and also, we're going to be going through each helicopter individually. So right after this test, I'm going to be talking about the Akula, then we're going to be talking about the Buzzard, then we're going to be talking about the Hunter and the Savage. So, let's start this off. Let's see test number 2 here. Let's see which helicopter is the fastest one. And it looks like the Hunter is in the lead again. Okay, so out of these helicopters, the Hunter is the fastest one, the second fastest the Akula, the third one is the Buzzard, and the slowest is the Savage. Let's talk about other features, and we're going to be talking about each helicopter individually here. So let's start off our list talking about the Akula, its advantages and disadvantages. So the first thing that when we want to talk about the Akula is its stealth mode, and a lot of people don't realize this, but if you have a wanted level, and make sure you guys pay attention to that, you guys see I have 5 stars right there. If you have a wanted level, this helicopter is your best friend. You just activate stealth mode, and no matter what kind of wanted level you have, it automatically goes down to 2 stars. So I had 5 stars there. I got in the helicopter, I activated stealth mode, and it instantly went from 5 stars to 2 stars. So it's great for that. Let me show you another feature that stealth mode has here. Especially, this is very helpful for cargo runs. Let's take a look at this. So right here, you see my 2 friends. And they both have cargo. They're carrying hangar cargo right here. And this also works for CEO cargo, and it works for supplies. Any kind of cargo that a person individually carries, as long as it's not like in a truck or anything, something that somebody will just carry an individual person, this cargo will go off the radar completely. So you guys see them. They're on the radar here. They're right in front of me. I see the cargo. I see the green blip on the screen there. And look at what happens. They activate stealth mode, and let's see right here. Off the map completely. I don't see them at all. So if you want to transport cargo, this would be your best helicopter to do so. You would be completely off the map. You don't have to worry about a griefer coming after your cargo if you're transporting with this helicopter. The only way they can hurt you is if they actually find your helicopter. But if you're off the radar, they have a hard time finding you, right? Let's talk about another thing here. Let's talk about this thing in combat, because a lot of people probably wonder, how good is this helicopter in combat in comparison to the others? So, right here I have footage from one of my older videos. This is when the Akula first came out, and we were testing out stealth mode to see how effective stealth mode is actually in a dogfight scenario. So right here, I have my friend Jo Junie, and she is flying a Hunter, and she's a very good pilot, and I told her to just randomly fly around in the Hunter and, just I'm going to come up behind you at any random moment. I just told her, don't look behind you, just try to fly around, pretend like I'm not there. And we tested it right here. I came up behind her and I destroyed her. She flared on the first missile, but then she didn't have enough flares to stop them all, and she didn't have enough time to turn around and dodge at the last moment there. So she blew up. So if you activate stealth mode on this helicopter, you can destroy anybody that gets in your way. And here's the second example. So any other helicopter in this game, if you activate stealth mode and you get the jump on them, you will kill them. In an actual situation where it's 1v1 without stealth mode, this helicopter, it can dodge really easy. It has good agility, but it has no flares. So that's the disadvantage of this helicopter. It has no flares. It does have unlimited homing missiles, so you can just keep firing and firing. There's no cooldown. Other weapons on this helicopter include a dual miniguns that the Copilot fires. These aren't explosive, so that's kind of disappointing. They're not great. They're not great against moving vehicles. Not great against that. So if you want your gunner to use this, you have to be perfectly stationary. It's good at blowing up vehicles that are stationary and destroying some targets on the ground, but this gun would not be used in a practical sense at trying to destroy moving targets or trying to destroy a wider area of targets. It's better if the pilot just uses homing missiles on them. In terms of other weapons on this helicopter, the main machine guns on this helicopter could be used to shoot other helicopters out of the sky, but they would be absolutely terrible for trying to engage ground targets. The machine guns on this helicopter are not explosive, and the secondary weapons on it are strange because in this helicopter you have to choose from a mounted missile barrage or mounted homing missiles, and the missile barrage is not as good as the Hunter missile barrage because on this one you can only fire 4 missiles at a time, and the mounted homing missiles, they can't distinguish between homing and non-homing, so you can't turn homing off, and the advantage of turning homing off is that you would be able to bomb targets, you'd be able to choose the targets that you want to hit. That's why I liked, when I used the Buzzard, I liked the option to turn homing missiles off, but in this helicopter, you can't turn that off, unfortunately. One final feature of this helicopter is that the back passengers can activate night vision mode and thermal vision, but only they can see in this view, and they cannot even spot anybody in this. So while this mode does seem cool, it does not serve any actual purpose. And finally, this helicopter takes a total of 3 homing missiles and 7 explosive sniper shots. The next helicopter that we are taking a look at here is the Buzzard, and the Buzzard, it has been in the game since day 1, making it the oldest helicopter on this list here. Basic attack helicopter, but with the addition of CEOs, this helicopter has much greater use now, and what's unique about this helicopter with CEO is that you can just spawn this helicopter anywhere. It will spawn a block away from you instantly. This versus having to spawn it as a personal vehicle where you have to drive somewhere, or a Pegasus vehicle where you have to drive to a helipad. If you have a CEO and you own one, you can just spawn one right in front of you. It'll just spawn right in front of your face, right next to you. And if you are playing in an MC and you appoint a road captain, you can also spawn a Buzzard, but it will be without guns, and it will be for $1,000. Now, it's like I said, the most unique thing about this helicopter is the fact that you can spawn it right with the CEO menu. You can just spawn it right in front of you. You don't have to go to a helipad, drive across the map. You can just spawn it in front of you, and you can use it to get out of bad situations. You can use it to transport yourself or other teammates from point A to point B, or you could even use it to complete objectives, such as here I'm doing Headhunter, and you guys see I'm just killing these targets easily with this Buzzard. So this thing has multiple purposes, and in addition to being so convenient to spawn, this helicopter has the best agility out of all the other helicopters that we're comparing it to, the Hunter, the Akula, and the Savage. Other helicopters, such as the Hunter, have flares, but if you don't count flares, this helicopter is the hardest helicopter out of all of them to hit. This helicopter has such great agility, and this clip here is sped up because we're such in a huge duel, and I managed to defeat a Hunter here because I just kept dodging missiles so much. The other weapon on this helicopter, the standard machine guns, they're not great. They're certainly not going to take down ground targets. They can be used by a good pilot to shoot down other helicopters, but if you get really close range to other helicopters, such as the Savage right here, you can get destroyed by its cannon. The other weapon on this helicopter, the machine guns, like I said earlier, they can be used to shoot down other helicopters, which is the primary use. I haven't ever seen anybody attack ground targets with this Buzzard with its machine guns. The machine guns are terrible for attacking ground targets. It's better if you use the missiles on this, even if you're not locking onto something. Just take homing off and just fire your missiles straight at target, so you don't even have to lock on. But it's much better to use the missiles to bomb any kind of target. The machine guns, they blow up cars, but missiles are much more effective, and they certainly won't kill people. But unfortunately, this helicopter's missiles have a cooldown. They are not infinite, so they have a few second cooldown between each 2 missiles. In terms of damage resistance, the Buzzard can take 1 homing launcher missile, and it can take 2 shots from an explosive sniper. So the next helicopter that we have on the list is the Hunter, and the Hunter is the fastest helicopter, as we saw from the test, and it's also the most weaponized helicopter, coming with 4 different weapons on it. And this helicopter is extremely agile, but just because it's the fastest helicopter and the most weaponized helicopter, does that necessarily make it the best helicopter? Well, we're going to show you that right now. Here we are dogfighting the Akula helicopter, and the Hunter has flares. The Akula does not. I managed to get hit 2 times. I'm still up in the air, and I managed to finally defeat the Akula, but it goes to show you that a good pilot in an Akula or a Buzzard, as shown before, can defeat the Hunter. The problem with the Hunter is that the Hunter is such a big helicopter, and it's extremely vulnerable to explosive sniper. Might not have a problem against homing launchers because you can use flares or chaff, and even small arms fire. It's if you're flying around cops and cops shoot up this helicopter is going to die pretty quickly. I mean, just take a look at this. I got shot up a few times before by the AI, and the helicopter is already dying, and it's pretty much done, and I have to bail out here to get away from it, or else I'm going to crash. So while this helicopter is very fast and weaponized, the problem is that it's very big and it's a very big target, and the other weapons on it, such as the barrage, a lot of people think that the barrage is cool. The barrage certainly is better than the barrage in the Akula, which only fires 4. The Hunter's barrage fires 7, but the barrage is just not effective. Like, I'll show you guys here. You can fire at a target and you can kill targets with the barrage, but a lot of times you'll fire right at what you're aiming at and you won't even hit what you're aiming at. It's kind of strange with this weapon here. As you guys see, I'm firing the barrage at these cops here. I'm destroying some of them, but I'm not destroying every single cop that I'm aiming at here. Certain situations the barrage can be helpful in, but I think it's a lot more effective to use homing. But the problem is that the homing, you can't turn homing off or on, which is a big problem, because I would just rather bomb with homing off and just try to hit targets like that manually. But no, I have to rely on this barrage, which is just not necessarily a good thing. And the barrage also, it's not like the it's not as fast as the homing missiles. The homing missiles are much faster than the barrage missiles. A lot of people don't notice that, but they are faster. Also, additionally, this helicopter can bomb. It can carry 50 bombs just like in a plane. I've never seen anybody bomb with the Hunter. I mean, it's a nice feature, but I've never really seen anybody take advantage of it. And another weapon, our final one, is the Copilot. The Copilot gun, this is probably the best weapon in the Hunter, but the problem is that you need a passenger to be able to use this gun. This gun cannot be used by one person. So oftentimes when one person is flying it, they're not going to have that Copilot on that gun. But I'm going to show you that gun in a little bit here. Let me show you guys the barrage here. So take a look at this. I'm trying to hit my friend right down there, and I'm using the barrage. Look at this. See, I'm having a hard time hitting him. There, I finally got him. But like I said, this barrage, it's not as effective as a lot of people think it is. So the Hunter, it's not the best helicopter at bombing ground targets. It's good at dogfighting. It's the most weaponized, but it's not necessarily the best at hitting ground targets. This weapon, on the other hand, the Copilot's gun, this gun, in my opinion, is the best weapon on the Hunter. And this weapon, if you are going after ground targets, you are going to want to use this weapon. You're going to have to rely on your passenger, your friend here. And in this example here, we are doing Headhunter. And we are looking for the targets here. So take a look at this, guys. As we fly over each target, it's actually very, very easy to kill them. And they're in armored vehicles on this one. So this gun, very, very helpful. Similar to the Valkyrie gun, Valkyrie Copilot. Just need to aim at the target and just fire. Very simple, explosive cannon here. Take a look at this. Guy in the window here. We blow him up. Get rid of him really quickly. Got him. Let me show you guys here as we get rid of a car. And we see the car, it's not too far from us now. There it is. And this gun does also have decent range on it. There we go. That's an armored car destroyed extremely easily. And here we are going after our final target. Take a look at this. This gun, very effective at destroying targets on the ground. It's not the best weapon at destroying targets on the ground, in my opinion, but it's very effective, and it's the best weapon in the Hunter has to offer. But, like I said, you need a passenger in order to be able to use this weapon. So let me show you what this weapon is like against a helicopter. And if you have 2 people in the Hunter is the best vehicle in the game, best helicopter, I should say, to dogfight other helicopters. But it's the best to dogfight at medium to long range. If you take the Savage, for instance, the Savage is the best helicopter to dogfight at close range. And this cannon here, a good pilot cannot dodge this cannon. A good pilot might be able to dodge the missiles that you fire at him, but not from this cannon, so you could probably take down other helicopters. However, if you get in proximity of a Savage really close to it, the Hunter does not stand a chance at all against a Savage at close range. Take a look at this right here. Here we are really close to a Savage. We instantly get flipped and destroyed here. So the Hunter, while it's the best helicopter to dogfight at long to medium range, not the best helicopter at close range to dogfight. That goes to the Savage. In a damage resistance test, the Hunter takes a total of 3 homing missiles and 7 explosive sniper shots, the exact same as in the Akula. Here, explosive sniper, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the exact same as the Akula. And the final helicopter that we have on this list is the Savage, my personal favorite. The Savage has been in the game since the March 2015 original heist update. And what's unique about the Savage is that it has an explosive cannon on it, similar to the Hydra and the Laser. When this cannon makes contact with any kind of surface, it explodes, making it very good for taking out armored vehicles and very good for clearing out ground targets. So if you ever want to clear out an area on the ground really quickly, the Savage is your best helicopter for that. Not only that, but the Savage is the best helicopter at dogfighting at close range. Take a look at this when I'm fighting a Hunter right here. See how easily I destroyed a Hunter at close range? The Hunter had no chance. But however, the Savage has problems at longer range. It's a great helicopter at close range and will destroy anything in your way, close range. But at longer ranges, it will lose any fight, especially to a helicopter like the Hunter or the Akula. Let me show you an example of that here. So guys, take a look at this right here. We are fighting the Hunter again, and this time we are fighting at longer ranges. So while the Savage is the best helicopter at close range, it is ineffective at longer range. This is a very big helicopter, it's very hard to dodge with it, and it does not have flares, making it very vulnerable at longer range. So right here, we lose easily to a Hunter at longer range. However, this gun is very good at close range. Let me show you one more example to prove it. And this right here is from a few months ago. This is when I was fighting a griefer. I just helped my friend finish selling her stuff, and right after this guy in the jetpack came after me for no reason. I was in a Savage at the time, and he was locking onto me and he was trying to kill me really badly. I was dodging to the best of my ability here, and I was firing missiles back at him. Even though I was firing missiles back at him, he was flaring here, and it was really hard to hit him because he was on a jetpack, which is a very hard target to hit here. And if I was in any other helicopter, I am fully confident I would have died in this case because the missiles were very ineffective. Missiles were not doing anything here. But the cannon on the Savage here, it was effective, and I ended up getting him with it. So this proves right here that the Savage is the best helicopter at close range because any other helicopter would have died in this situation here. Because of the Savage's explosive cannon right there, I was able to take down the griefer and blow him up. He was dodging every missile besides that. Right here is footage of me fighting that same griefer and me blowing him up on the ground, which shows you that the Savage is the best helicopter for engaging ground targets. I was fighting this griefer and this guy was trying really hard to take the easy way out, but a lot of times he didn't even have the chance to because the Savage's explosive cannon is just so effective. So if you ever want to clear out ground targets, the Savage is your best helicopter to do so, especially if you're fighting players on the ground. And let me show you guys here one final example of it being extremely effective in a mission. So right here, guys, take a look at this. This is from the Los Santos Connection, which is one of the hardest contact missions in the game. And right here, I am demonstrating the Savage's ability to take out multiple targets at once here. This cannon is much more effective than the Hunter's cannon at clearing out ground targets. You guys see as I'm just mopping up the AI right now. If I was in the Hunter, I would have to be locking onto each target individually, and that would still clear it out, but this cannon makes it just much more effective. And when the cars come in the next part here, you guys are just going to see just how effective the cannon is. I don't have to lock on anything, I just have to point and shoot, and that's it. I can just clear the area out, and I can just spray this gun. So take a look at this. This is when the vehicles are coming in here. Look at this. Very easily cleans up all the vehicles, versus having to lock onto them and missing with missiles. Let me show you guys at the end here when I clear out the hangar, and you guys can just see how much damage this explosive gun can really do. So guys, take a look at this right here. No other helicopter in the game has a cannon like this, and this is the best right here in this situation. I'm able to easily clear out this hangar, destroy all the vehicles instantly all together here, and anybody here that gets in my way, I can just blast this cannon, instant death. I don't have to wait to fire each missile, lock onto each target here. So the Savage is the best helicopter in the game for dealing with ground targets, and the best helicopter for dogfighting at close range. It's my personal favorite helicopter because it's extremely helpful on missions, and it's extremely helpful when dealing with griefers. And here finally we have a damage resistance test. The Savage takes a total of 2 homing missiles and takes 4 explosive sniper shots. Okay, so this here is a final chart that I have created of all 4 helicopters. So let's go down the list right here. The Akula, it has infinite missiles, so it can fire infinite homing missiles as much as it wants. There's no cooldown. And the Akula will destroy any helicopter in stealth mode. So if this thing goes into stealth mode, it can take out any helicopter, from a Buzzard to a Savage to a Hunter. As long as the other pilot doesn't see them coming early on, they have a quick jump on them and they can take them out easily. The Akula can hide cargo, so if you're transporting CEO cargo, hangar cargo, even supplies individually, you can hide the cargo off the radar. It's very easy to lose cops. If you have 5 stars and you activate stealth mode, it'll automatically go down to 2 stars. It has great agility, but it has no flares. It blows up in 3 homing missiles, 7 explosive sniper, and has 4 missile barrage. But the missile barrage, it's not that great. It's certainly much worse than the Hunters because it only fires 4 versus the Hunter that fires 7. And the Buzzard, it spawns with the CEO. It can also spawn with the MC Road Captain. There's no other helicopter in the game that you can just spawn right in front of you. It'll literally spawn right in front of you, like a few meters away from you. It has the best agility. Out of all the helicopters, this helicopter is the hardest to hit. If you are trying to shoot something down and you have a good pilot in this, you are going to have a really, really hard time shooting them down with missiles. Even though it has no flares, it's really hard to shoot this helicopter down with missiles a lot of times. And it has a missile cooldown. So every time you fire the missiles, every time you fire 2 missiles, there's a few second cooldown. It is the smallest helicopter, and it blows up in 1 homing missile and 3 explosive sniper. The Savage, it has an explosive cannon. No other helicopter has a cannon like this. Very similar to Hydra and a laser. It can clear anything out in its way. It's the best helicopter for engaging ground targets. It has infinite missiles. So there's no cooldown on the missiles that it fires. It can turn homing on and off. It blows up in total of 2 homing launchers, 4 explosive sniper. It's the best helicopter for close range fights. So if you're looking to take out other helicopters at close range, this is the best helicopter for you. The Hunter, the Buzzard, and the Akula will not defeat this helicopter at close range. If you get up close within range of that explosive cannon, every single other helicopter is going to lose. And this helicopter has no flares. Now the Hunter, the final one, this is the most weaponized helicopter. It can drop bombs. It has 7 missile barrage. Its homing missiles are infinite. It has no cooldown, but it doesn't have homing off, so it only has homing missiles. It has a Copilot cannon that's similar to the Valkyrie gun. It has flares, and it has great agility. So it's the only helicopter that has flares on this list. It's the fastest helicopter as well, and it's a big target, just like the Savages. So it blows up in 3 homing and 7 explosive sniper, similar to the Akula. So here's the list, guys. So I want to tell you guys, like I said earlier in the video, there is no best helicopter in the game, because I recommend everybody buy each of these helicopters, because each of these helicopters serves a valuable purpose. There's not really any way to say which helicopter is the best. When people ask me on live streams all the time, they ask me, professional, what is the best helicopter in the game? Well, I'm saying is, what do you mean by best helicopter? Do you mean most weaponized? Do you mean fastest? Do you mean easiest to use? Do you mean the best helicopter for engaging other helicopters? Do you mean the best helicopter for engaging ground targets? There's just so many things. Akula has a stealth mode. Buzzard can be spawned with CEO. Savage is the best for bombing the ground, dogfighting at close range. Hunter has the most weapons. It's the best at dogfighting other helicopters. It can also bomb targets on the ground, but the Savage is much more effective. And if you want to use that Copilot gun, you need to have a second player in your helicopter. So each helicopter is good for something. So in my personal opinion, I don't think that there is a best helicopter in the game. Each of these helicopters has its own uses, its own unique uses, I should say. So I guess that's my video. I hope that you guys have enjoyed. Anything that I missed, feel free to leave in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.